Vertigo awaits us. LDLC looking much more impressive on Nuke than we saw coming out of their Inferno, and I have to say the opposite needs to be pointed out. They did have Aaron and Coolio performing, but in Vertigo they will need a whole lot more than just that.
Yeah, and I said this was going to be middle league territory for these teams, but, you know, this was a map that I thought DomiNation were going to ban in this series. LDLC have not had a good track record as of late on this map. I think only one win in the past 7. DomiNation have none on registry, not as far back as this core back in the Onyx days in the late part of 2022. So first time we're going to get to see them on this map, and on their CT start, they're already doing some decent damage. Camion, 1 kill, does find a couple tags onto Brooksy, but loses his life for his effort into an equal exchange, 4-on-4, and Snobbling creeping through middle. There is a gap here. DomiNation not fully considering it, and finally MSN sussing out that lurk, but the B side under siege. Brooksy, front man, and dropped.
It's also looking to see if he can get any frags back through the smoke, but as he rounds out the corner, misses his opportunity, still recovers Coolio's head, and a bit more spam damage in through it as well. Bomb still not planted yet. They are waiting for it to be tapped in, but it never will be. Instead, they are tapped out. LDLC unable to find even the bomb plunge.
Yeah, given the preface I just had, in, you know, just as we got into this pistol round, I'm fully expecting this map to be quite a scrappy affair. Don't know if that's the same sort of vibe you're coming into this map with, but considering we had such, you know, one-sided sort of domination from either side, it's a bit strange that we end up on this map. It's definitely a curveball for DomiNation. Probably have been putting in some work ahead of it. You know, their map pool's not the most fleshed out. See if LDLC have put the same reps in. This is a force buy, and Camion has missed the timing on a player crossing. Brooksy is still keeping his angle in check, but Camion shouldn't expect anyone to have crept past his vision. It's a simple kill for Gravity.
No. Makes it look easy. Camion is immediately eliminated, and he even gets some more ground out. Unfortunately, ground comes with bullets in his body. Coolio will want to deliver them.
Yeah, I wanted to speed things up over towards the B play after that pick, but losing that ground so quickly, it's not looking too hot here for LDLC. So many SMGs bought into this round. 5 in place. Sure, they lost Camion, but there's still more money to be made.
Creep through as... Question is the CT side going to be trying to hunt out and end up falling by the wayside? That seems to be the only way that LDLC could be losing, or rather could be getting a chance to stop themselves losing out this round. But Dido almost caught out, 10 HP left on him, and as he does retreat backwards, Aaron collects on another. The bomb plant will be guaranteed at the very least. A flashbang through, Afro covers off, and a push from the smoke means that a few more kills for the MP9s and money made all the way.
Yeah, just not the right weapon to really cover your planter there. They fully knew exactly what they had to do as well on the DomiNation side, just ran at them with those SMGs. And that flashbang was pretty solid as well to allow them to scale. Bomb plant is nice. That extra $800 will go back into the pocket of LDLC, so they shouldn't commit to a buy here. DomiNation should be able to get off to a nice 3-0 start. A half commitment and a whole lot of nades. Where are these destined for? Probably ramp.
Well, I've really been enjoying the half commitments, I have to say. Admittedly, right now it makes a lot more sense, but I was expecting them to be recommitting into a buy off the back of the bomb plant and knowing that there are so many SMGs on the DomiNation side.
Nade doesn't quite hit the money. If it landed on top of the boxes, it could have bounced in. They're flashing. Aaron bombarded. 3 HP, still alive.
And he's still peeking forward. It's MSN to actually cover him off. It's through the smoke where he's found the first gravity. He's gone. Snobbling as well will hit the deck. And Vertigo, the only casualty thus far for the CT side. A casualty that only gives up an MP9.
Good timing on the escape there from Brooksy. There's a whole lot of spam there. They have them right where they want them. Brooksy boxed in and trapped in the connector that divides A and B, respectively, for the T side. Yeah, even though Aaron tanked all those nades, he still survived. 3-0 and 4 alive. It's now LDLC's time to buy. They have a much stronger buy than what DomiNation are going to be bringing to the table. Full AKs and AWP, but sure, Afro will be missing out on utility. But this man doesn't need a whole lot. Just so long as he has that big green in his hands, he has been doing damage throughout the series.
Kamet is gone. Brooksy the one to deliver the initial damage. Afro has been fantastic, hasn't he? With the AWP, just a lot of position on the T side where you wouldn't normally attribute success to it, especially on Nuke. Just how aggressive he was willing to get was a breath of fresh air. I'm hoping that we can see similar performances in Vertigo as well.
Aaron is in a lovely spot to counteract any sort of ramp aggression. Bonito just jump spotting, and so long as he doesn't die, oh my god, that's dangerous. He saw Afro for a decent amount of time there, but the AWP bullet misses. That was what the setup was designed for. Aaron was supposed to swing out and at least get one, but he's traded out before he can even actually collect on that one kill. So it's a 5-on-3, and this B bomb site is starting to be the target here for LDLC. No presence in from DomiNation. They're cluttered up over towards A, and so this should be a call to save.
Yeah, I think so. DomiNation just immediately backing off, and despite MSN looking to probe around and look for a single fight, will not be the case. LDLC able to collapse on with some key kills from Brooksy and Afro, and DomiNation will be taking the more economically conservative route. LDLC themselves, I have to say, at the very least, even though they did lose out the first 3 rounds, I'm happy that they've gotten in with some fight back into it. Again, it's looked like it could have been leaning over to an Inferno-esque performance with how smooth DomiNation were looking in those round wins, but they still got some fight in them.
Yeah, and nice as well they didn't overcommit. You know, they got this opening kill on Brooksy so rapidly into the round. There could have been a case to be made for them to just steamroll their way through B and just hope to get there before the rotates did for DomiNation. But they let them reset. They slowed things down. And even though DomiNation had a pretty solid setup on ramp, were able to pick it apart as well. I really think for both these teams, as far as, you know, depth in their play style, it's going to be hard to gauge. I do think middle as a territory should probably be a point of fixation in sort of future rounds, especially against teams that are sort of less drilled on this map. Mid is a real problem area. So much to do with how your A and B players respond to early aggression. Lovely kill there from Gravity. Tried his best to maintain control over the scaffolding, and he might even clear out the sandbag. This is not a fully tucked position from Bonito, but the flashes, it's raining in, and Bonito's been able to get his 1 kill, not go traded, down to 9 HP, and sure, he is a sitting duck. 1 HE, 1 Molotov would certainly flush him out of position, but that molly is quite far away.
Well, doesn't actually need it. Gravity is able to find it at the end of the day, and MSN looking to cover off. He was the one to initially truck out the flashbang, but they don't need to stay alive lest they lose the man advantage, and indeed they now have done exactly that. Camion, the only player to defend the B-bomb site.
Gravity actually spammed underneath the sandbags. That little wood pallet gave him up.
He'd been trying to get that one out a couple of times over. Can you see the blood spatter over there if you get a wall bang? You know how in Firebox is cleared out in Mirage?
You can sometimes, I think. It's just sometimes the sprites don't lead up that far up the wall. 4-on-2, and a Molotov down to try and deny that plant 20 seconds as they smoke immediately down so that plant can be secured. LDLC should maintain their advantage. Yeah, Camion, just a dead man walking. Double swing is too strong.
MSN will just be backing out as well. Remember, he was going for the maniacal peaks on Inferno, never really quite got into even Inferno. It looked like he was taking a lot of making a lot of attempts, but not really finding a lot of people. And it felt like he didn't even find himself later on into the game. Switching back out to the AWP. Quick scope forward as well. He is at least putting up a fighting chance to hold on to the weapon. Unfortunately, Snobbling sidelines him.
Yeah, those were pretty smooth moves there from MSN. He was trying to go for a totally deathless CT side, but he's eventually tracked down. That's his first time being taken out of the rounds. Now money's not great. Likely a tying moment here for the French attack. Yeah, just a half-buy commitment from DomiNation. Now, these rounds have gone amiss by teams on the full buy so far in this series. Don't count it out just yet. Lambert just closed the gap, and, well, that should just about secure it. Nice little double kill in at ramp with not a lick of damage being responded upon.
Coolio just running off as well. Looked like he might have been in position to at least set up for a highlight read. It was between him and Aaron. And the two-man race on Nuke about who can actually bring out some impact from DomiNation. But unfortunately, impact or not, they weren't really able to get rounds there. Oh, well, that's a nice drive-by.
That's kind of unfair. Gravity on 7 HP, but does move to a very defensible angle. Aaron survives on 1. You know, they've been spamming. LDLC have been spamming back. Should be no problems. Picking up the rest of these kills. Yeah, Aaron even tried to face in from window, and that's an angle where you basically cannot run away on low HP like that. A single death. Really nicely done. They're building money here on the LDLC side, and while DomiNation do answer with another buy coming into this round, it's been pretty solid workings from this T side thus far. Especially how they've engaged in at ramp. They've been able to gain so much territory. DomiNation at the moment have not been setting up for the immediate smoke deep ramp to sort of threaten a player getting close towards scaffolding or just taking any more aggressive moves. DomiNation have been really trying to find a timing that hasn't been all too present when LDLC have been creeping up in this area.
Gravity thinks he's got a timing to be able to try and exploit back out from Ali, and he might as well be right. But in the meanwhile, Coolio's demise has been met, so that might be re-navigating him back over as well. Aaron in the spam. I was thinking about going more defensively, but now he's about to be caught up by the side. Even did gets the kill. Gravity looked like he had the timing out perfectly. Aaron was just hyperactively looking to and fro, and at the end of the day, he does come out on top. Unfortunately, the second push from behind, he thought Petito had him covered, but now Lambert's even somehow managed to sneak past Petito. In the meanwhile, Afro is the one with the bomb. He's got a shot through the wall. I'm so confused about what's going on this round, Michael.
Yeah, Nate landed on his head, and he didn't have head armor as well, so he took a lot of damage without really seeing a damn thing. Damian, this kill will decide it. Brooksy, that late lurk from middle, 35 seconds. LDLC are still committed with 2 players towards A. Stobling, smoke fading right in front of his face, but they need to try and get this bomb planted, try and section DomiNation off as best as possible. Damian has a deep line, but trying to pressure Stobling while he tries to defend the plant. MSN unable to connect on the shot, and now Afro has him pinned in. AWP primed on elevator, but Snobbling, a jiggle that goes awry, and now it's AWP v AWP, but they both throw pistols, but Afro has the upgrade, a 5-7 bullet straight to the head. It's a 1v1 that's won by LDLC. They creep through with an advantage.
Now the lead found as well. Michael, you were mentioning about how LDLC Vertigo, mid-lane territory somewhat sure, but not necessarily their best showings on the map.
Yeah,
they are looking strong.
They've got at least more official repetitions than DomiNation do. That's the major advantage that they'll have coming into this. Missed Molly, though, and that does allow Camion to get aggressive on this half-buy. Hard angle to clear, and LDLC should surely realize that that's a vulnerability because that Molly's missed.
Roxy.
They made
Getting ready,
noise.
getting ready to line up a night, and he's just like realizes, oh no, they could be pushing through it this right. Let's maybe not. Cameron is in a solid position with 5-7, but unfortunately for him and the rest of his teammates, solid positions do not necessarily lead to kills. You do need to get your bullet out of the chamber.
Does feel like they are getting, honestly, Afro diffed. You know, he's
Feels
been
like
a deciding factor.
that's been the case in Nuke as well, hasn't it?
Just looking clean. You know, he's the one that's taking onus on a lot of these rounds. You know, he's going for some of these hyper aggro peaks that I think we were certainly attributing to MSN on the first map, who has quieted down ever since. You know, not taking as many brazen fights. Sure, he's had some nice moments, but Afro has outclassed in terms of the consistency he's provided towards this series. And he'll be the saving grace, most likely, for LDLC. You know, Lambert coming in as the coach hasn't been somebody that has been a weak link thus far for LDLC, but Afro is the initiative man. Peaks, then the game's gonna go right. Even boosting up Brooksy, Coolio cut off by a Molotov. Smoke had to be deployed. They've got this man advantage, and Aaron, his duels have not gone swimmingly either. Over on the A side, Coolio's completely trapped here. Catches Gravity on the jump up, and MSN's found one with the AWP, so that man advantage for LDLC is suddenly one for the domination side.
Coolio finding himself alive for that long is really what ends up setting up for the quick 2 kills over there as well, but even so, man advantage doesn't necessarily mean and it will be sustained. That is something we surely saw on Nuke as well. Snobbling position is solid. If you can cut off any of the rotates, this would make it a very difficult round for domination to recover, but it all comes down to whether they can get the first kills or not. Snobbling! Big double as the fadeaway from domination was planned to try and get into a more defensive position. They had completely neglected out in middle.
Yeah, you called it. Just because you have the man advantage doesn't mean you're going to be able to collect on the round alongside it. Just breaking down that B-side setup. And yeah, this is another great round here from LDLC. They slowed things down. Domination playing 2-2 split. And they accounted for middle, but probably not as much as they should have been concerned about it. Domination looking worse for wear. And it's strange considering we had such just a steamroller's performance coming into this series. That first map, it looked like LDLC were just going to get honestly destroyed coming into even the second map, because they just were not hitting their shots, but they've woken up. They're looking just as sharp. And domination, maybe their lack of repetitions on this map is something that's going to bleed them out. Honestly, Bedito was so still just now. I thought I'd disconnected. Had a little timeout called by most likely the domination side, considering things are not going their way.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Benito picking up his hands and waving them about frantically as he explains to his team what they need to do to fix this.
Is that you assuming that they're on LAN?
No, I mean, do you not wave around your arms when you're talking sometimes? I mean, I know you do when we're casting. But...
Yeah, maybe quite animated about how poorly this is going.
Like, guys, we need to stop giving them rounds when we're in advantages. And your hands are, sort of waving around in the air. I think I can see that happening. Afro, though, will be giving them the advantage in LDLC now. That is going to be a problem that they have yet to find a solution to, because Gravity is also going to be creeping forward. Sure, MSN's on the other side, but he is just another dead man.
So well read there by Gravity. That is the perfect play. And now as well, just giving that AWP over to him. It won't matter. They're already calling it quits. Domination know this A site is going to fall to the hands of the French. But what can you do? Lose your setup so quick. Not a whole lot that you can really ask for. I think Coolio might have just secured their exit, but given the money is looking good here for LDLC, they're wanting to hunt these weapons down.
Any additional damage out onto DomiNation would just be a boon. I think they don't have enough money to buy regardless. Camion's 1100 does make me question that a little bit, but would have to wait to see. I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to commit into a buy, though, even if they don't quite have it fully. LDLC not getting too exploratory despite having some money behind them. They don't really mind the League of Support. Never mind. Okay, this is a disaster. They've lost them both.
Yep, so this is half-buy territory here for DomiNation. LDLC just keep the good times rolling. Whether it's been these riflers or the Orb of Afro, they've just been able to find so many consistent opening duels. Sure, there's been some fight. You know, it's not like all these man advantages for LDLC have been sustained, but you know, these late round hits, LDLC are just collecting themselves so well to target one side of the map. The opening picks will continue. Afro's been hyper mobile about the way he's adjusted. This time middle was his focus, and Brooksy's already found Camion over at B. Head to head, that has almost certainly been won by Brooksy more often than not. It's still a little scary. 3-on-3, these pistols have done some damage, and Coolio's got his hands on a rifle. See if the trend continues. The fact that they've been able to bring themselves out of situations like this in rounds gone by, DomiNation have to certainly be sweating. This is an opportunity. You know, one of these miracle rounds that can certainly slingshot you back into a game, even with the money looking good here for LDLC. It's the mental damage.
I mean, that's what you would hope, right? If you're a Hungarian fan out there. And Masan with the Deagle, Molotov is well timed as well, so Lambert can't actually look to cross through. Can't even push through the smoke without making noise either. They do have only one flashbang left. Afro had to deploy that. They're looking for a few more kills. The bomb's been dropped down on default for Brooksy to plant. The MAC-10 can try and get fancy around the boxes, and by the time Vertigo comes into play, it seems like he's not only been spotted out, but also lost all of his teammates. So 1-on-3 DomiNation, miracles will not be found, not yet at the very least. This is getting slightly disastrous.
Yeah, they were even ready for that little boost up as well around that smoke, you know, expecting that there were going to be at least 2 players in proximity there from DomiNation. So just LDLC really doing a good job of just not getting caught off by any of these cheeky angles from DomiNation. They will try and hunt Vertigo, and that's the AWP of Afro that led the way, but he's already going to be capped out on money coming into this next round, so the worst loss in the world. Vertigo wanting to get his hands on that AWP, and will secure exactly that. Brooksy not much better on his duel, but round 1 nonetheless.
Emerson would have had an AWP regardless, so even just saving the AWP doesn't really add that much more to it. The only point that maybe it could lead into it is if they start winning some rounds on 1v1s, and yeah, then you have slightly more cushion, but winning rounds on 1v1s is still the core aspect of that statement. Maybe a bit of aggression over towards the B-bomb site. Camion is definitely considering it. He's playing up closer to the bookshelf, but MSN's AWP might have been saved, but it cannot be his life. That is safe.
Yeah, a lot of good that AWP did. Saved or not, it's not looking too pretty. Vertigo at least claws away at that advantage, but Brooksy, again, this head-to-head duel over on B has just consistently been won by the LDLC side, and Gravity close by, Aaron unsuspecting is another one that's around the corner, and he spotted the shadow, so Vertigo was a dead man walking. They fall like flies. It's a Coolio 1v4 now present, and you have to try and at least give a swing at it.
I know that Gravity and Brooksy have been dying a fair bit, so maybe the KD is not the most impressive right now, but these two have been performing so incredibly well in their individual jobs, just on either bomb site, finding entries upon entries whenever they're needed and called on. Afro is the one obviously leading the charge, but these guys are very much his foot soldiers by the side.
Kill Afro, win the round. But that's proving to be quite difficult to do.
So kill afros though. It's a hard condition.
Guys, 14 and 4. T side AWPing.
4 deaths.
He's not. Yeah, and listen, you know, we sometimes see like good T side starts from AWPers, and especially in the early days of Vertigo, you know, a lot of that was just hold ramp above smoke and CTs will peak. But Afro's been hunting for these kills. You know, he's been going all over the map to do his job.
Absolutely. Like I said, for that, sure, but I think that doesn't really tell the full story and how incredibly aggressive he's been feeling comfortable and getting into, and I don't blame him after the performance he had on Nuke. He really does look like the best player on the server by far. He almost backed out into a sight line in... Okay, what? Okay. Strange. Trying to get the grenade after dropping it himself, but, well.
And Camion's been owned by those nades. 6 HP. He is still alive, but barely.
Alright, there you go. Goodbye, Camion.
This is maybe why Vertigo has been their first round ban for quite some time, and sure, they might have put some work into it, but LDLC are giving them a lesson that practice and officials are very much a different ball game.
Yeah, I don't actually know what the solution is. I'm racking my brains. I'm thinking, okay, I want to see this. I want to see... Honestly, I just want to see Camion not dying early on. You know, Afro not being given kills early on. But then the problem is you just get all of the map control out for LDLC. How do you solve this? Just win duels? Is that it? Just get kills?
They're getting out-thunk, out-dueled, out-aimed, out-brained. Said the same thing twice, but in different ways. But that's really what LDLC have been up to most of this T side. Going in with different approaches so many times over, it's hard to make the right adaptation if you're DomiNation. Starting off with a nice kill on Aaron could be a way back in. In fact, he'll double up. They tried to pressure through middle, through smoke, and it will not see success. I don't even know if Stoppling was actually revealed. Let's see if LDLC can get themselves out of this one. Camion this time will not lose to Brooksy. Finally, that head-to-head going his way, even though Afro boosted him up. It does land a decent amount of damage, and these players are weakened, but an AWP stands between them and success over at B. I think Badito... wasn't sure if he was going to be spotted around the edge of that target. Yeah, Lambert's just a sitting duck. Had he seen him, could have been a different story, but this is the most one-sided round we've seen from DomiNation thus far here on this CT side.
Man, I just want to see Afro jump down so they can't kill him and get the satisfaction. I know he wants to find it out, though. We'll find a kill. And listen, this man is not as petty as I am, but...
We'll bang him, do it.
As his players coming in from the side as well. So look at fight it out! It's a 1-on-2. Afro's got 40 seconds and the bomb. The game is now on again.
Coolio's here. Got here quick. And Afro's not expecting this rotate to have already committed to the site. The nades, yeah, Coolio fully read that situation. And sure, it gets scary. We already had an Afro ace clutch on Nuke. And I was starting to get ready for the idea that he could pull it off again. But Coolio makes sure it goes no further than those 3 kills. Started off so clean, and it's still a little hairy. Does mean that MSN will not have an AWP to hold onto for this last round of the half. LDLC's 10 is already more than enough. But if they can save some face, get to 5 here on DomiNation, then things could turn up. If they get pistol the following, you know, 1 rifle round, they'd be right there to tie.
I have a feeling Camion's about to get double naded again. Slight change up on the boost this time over. Brooksy will not be playing out for the left side headshot angle. Instead, he goes for the jump up, and Camion has been dominated. Absolutely devastated on the B bomb side. Coolio, the only one still left here. MSN with an air shot to rotate, but will not be brought over because they know Snobbling might be lurking back in mid again. Coolio knows where Brooksy is, so there should be some sort of trade, but Brooksy himself Well, as he leans forward, will be taken down. Not quite able to come out on top of that duel.
They've maintained presence over towards A as well, so they're starting to redivert on these players. And desperate attempt there from MSN to clear through middle. Flashed in a whole lot of nothing, and Gravity as well will trade successfully on A. It's only Coolio, a 1-on-3, and Snobbling still just a thorn in his side. Hovering for that mid lurk, and the smoke in at the elevators means that he will be siphoned from the site, and that just gives more time for Snobbling to activate. Will miss his timing. But Coolio catching Gravity nice and quick. Answer, no. 11-4 here on our final map in the series. LDLC putting their foot down. They were slow risers, but they've woken up. Let's see if DomiNation can answer back on their CT side.
break up, don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and he's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, hurt you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So what? to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I make you happy? How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you. What you holding on to? Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you. Say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue? I'm doing everything he doesn't do.
Very one-sided as LDLC run all over DomiNation. Afro is once again looking like an absolute stunning individual, a human being with no parallel to be found on the server of Counter-Strike. And DomiNation better start making some barrels soon. They are looking weak.
Well, that's a pretty good way to start. Stobling immediately dealt with after getting aggro on his peak. The rest of the LDLC squad were reinforcing for a B or a mid attack, but bomb can't go down. Bonito getting that one dialed in. DomiNation will be able to set up in these post plans. There's no smokes available here for LDLC, but they do have a kit and a couple of flashes.
Gravity getting the charge, but Afro's come in with the quick double. Seems like he's going to be able to continue forward then. DomiNation the CT side as well. DomiNation themselves, though, are falling apart a 2-on-2 with the Afro flank is just finding more and more. MSN going to be cornered forward. The bomb defuse trying to come out. The stick is there. He's crouched out of the first bullet. It's been recovered, but Afro did not have time to be able to recover the round.
That was milliseconds away from a full defuse. Afro had him trapped, pinned in over at the scaffolding, but once he had to commit to that reload, suddenly MSN could escape his clutches, and that's an important 1v2 for MSN to have pieced together. Afro was indomitable when it came to that pistol, committed on that flank, and DomiNation could do very little to stop him. MSN the final man that couldn't be beat. So all they need is a pistol, win the first gun round, and Bob's your uncle. DomiNation be right there running at them. I thought it was going to be contingent on them getting 5 in that first half, but not much difference between 11-4 and 10-5. Mathematicians would argue it's just one round, actually.
This is why I don't listen to mathematicians, Michael. It's all about the round. It's about the emotions behind it. I can't imagine MSN's feeling too good about it. Neither is Aaron. The emotions have been muted. The warrior's back. Concern, fear, dismay, distress.
Might be one saving grace. Camion creeping through B. All of LDLC have bunkered down on the primary site. They've got the bomb, so their attention should be focused on what's ahead. Is there anyone that even considers the flank? Only one that can really turn for that is Gravity. He's got a scout, and Camion will be right for the picking. They start to turn for it. Gravity considering a flank, but thought about it from middle. Lambert finally dealing with that player, but now a 1-on-2 where these players are healthy. He has to hit instant headshots, and sure, he drops one, but the trade's there. They bail out of a bad situation. It is a DomiNation 1 round against the Force Buy, but only with 1 survivor. There's an argument to be made that LDLC might just recommit for another Force.
After what we saw in Inferno with that weird half-buy, I highly doubt that they will, just because it doesn't seem like the kind of team to do so.
Yeah.
But even the kills that Lambert is able to get, he can drop an off for Afro now. They'll have a lot more utility behind it as well. This is just not the best of signs from DomiNation going into what should be their first gun-on-gun round. Now, fortunately for them, they do have the... He tries to go out for the full knife in while blind. Fortunately, his teammates are there to cover off for that. But yeah, that would have been kind of insane.
That's called dedication to the cause.
He
knew he had to be the one that took space. You know, that's exactly what his role was on that. You know, just a fast B play if he started to reload and, you know, jump back down the stairs and suddenly all the spacing breaks for what is a rush. So yeah, he just got his knife out. Why not? Should have maybe pulled out the Glock, really, but... Anyway, I'm not here to tell him what to do. He survived. And his teammates sweeped up all the rest. Gravity's Zeus is going to get a whole lot of nothing, which is a shame. Had a chance. But a leaping Mac-10 will do him in. That's clean state of affairs versus just the pistols. LDLC now in with that full buy, like we would have anticipated. Did he just throw his pistol outside the map?
Listen, I'm not concerned about that. No op for Afro is what I'm concerned about. He's a madman. He's insane. He's so great with the AWP. I'm surprised that Lambert isn't opting into just dropping one for him directly.
Yeah, I mean, he could have even gone glass cannon, right? So, a couple of ways he could have got his hands on that particular weapon.
Well, I mean, with the position he's adopting, it makes sense on half the off, I suppose. But the question, oh my god, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. Oh. Gravity's about to get a freebie as well. Goodbye, MSN.
Yeah, that app's been dead for some time. Well, how do you get out of this situation? Haven't taken a lot of space with the fact that you've lost a couple of these players. Had you at least attained ramp and forced LDLC to play more contained inside of the site, feel better about this. Middle will be where they apply some pressure. Snowbling's already primed his molly to try and slow them down, allow these B players to maybe break their setup. But a boost could be well placed. This will be hard to react to if you're Snowbling. They're going to get a full read on this as well. No one peeking in from the connector, so they should anticipate that elevator is where they're holding from.
Oh? I don't think Vertigo actually spotted out the player, despite it being... I think Vertigo himself might have been spotted by Snowbling over there. Blaze, Molotovs, all of them will not be mattering all too much. DomiNation. Right now, all LDLC is trying to do is force them off. Good swing out, but Gravity can't find the kills. Camion as well will collect, and you're right back to a 3-on-3. Camion needs to find the kill. The player on the bottom side, but Lambert is alive and Snowbling. His flank collects. 12th round secured for LDLC, despite a few kills slipping out of their fingers.
Yeah, that one Molotov there from Snowbling just immediately chews off so much time there for DomiNation. They wanted to go at that 30-second mark, and you know, just those extra 8 or 9 seconds meant a world of a difference. Allowed Snowbling to make his way back through CT and actually get there in time to actually deal with DomiNation's eventual hit on B. A 5-round discrepancy. Sure, DomiNation win the pistol and the following rounds. But now they're back on a scrambled buy. AKs are out. Now, Camion's already found his kill. Maybe a little bit of taste of his own medicine. Brooksy was kind of dominating him over on that B side. Nice little printer clearing there from Afro on the A1S, just make sure no one was close by. And he's gotten 2 in from ramp and make that 3. This was against full rifles that stood in his path, and he's been able to collect on a triple. What?
Yeah, keep him on the M4. I don't mind this. Never mind.
Just give this guy any gun.
Listen, Afro's the kind of player who, when you give him a Zeus, he gets a double kill with it. Oh. He even gets a dink. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man, he's shooting fast.
Despite all of that, it is only a 2-on-2. Still some possibilities, perhaps, but not too many when Snowbling gets onto the server and prepped up. 13 for LDLC. They are right back to winning ways. DomiNation's money has been reset.
Very crispy from Snowbling as well. You know, back-to-back headshots. Didn't even matter that Afro dinked that secondary player. Now only 3 away from closing out this series. They started off so poor. Their Inferno looked rocky. They were getting rolled. And now DomiNation... You know, the fact that they allowed Vertigo through. First official that, at least I'm aware of, from this squad on this map. And listen, they haven't looked totally off the mark. I think the biggest issue they had was continuously losing, you know, opening duels, especially towards Afro. That's really been, I think, the biggest difference maker, is that he's just been on fire the past couple of maps. The man with the most experience here on this LDLC roster. Had Almanac been here, then maybe, you know, give it to him. Lambert even gets through towards middle. There was a player holding at the generators, but he missed the timing, and so MSN was none the wiser that he could be close. There are Glocks that are here to try and counteract Lambert's position, but hey, SMG, no armor. This is exactly what this weapon is made for.
And shoes as well, apparently. It's made for shoes.
It's an interesting technique for shining.
I don't know if you've ever heard a sewing machine, Michael, but it does sound a lot like the MP9 and the M249 both. The automatic sewing machines.
I've used a sewing machine, so I know exactly. Yeah,
but well, there you go.
I don't hear it.
When did you use a sewing machine last time?
Probably about 15 years ago.
Okay, then all right. I do not take your word as gospel on this then.
I don't know what kind of sewing machines you're using.
The good kinds. The kinds that cost $1,200 and you $600 back. For every jacket.
Pretty poor ROI.
I mean, you can make more than one jacket. Oh my god, man.
Oh, I see. I thought you were just saying that was like your own personal experience. Like, you didn't make a lot of money from your sewing machine. Lambert's position is going to be mighty annoying. He actually cleared through middle and actually escaped, so he's back to defending the A bomb side a little bit more bog standard. DomiNation didn't have a player lurking and keeping that one in check. They are just accounting for everything. Any aggro pushes through ladder, just cluttered up in at ramp. They want to target this area of the map. Afro jump peeking and has a nade primed as well for the eventual creep forward. Only about a minute chewed off of this clock. And DomiNation now perusing in at ramp, but they're building this boost.
Okay. Okay. A little bit of confusion going on now. You got to scoot, and well, good or not, Afro will be able to collect some damage. No kill from beyond it. He is having the boost disassembled, and for good reason. They are burning to death. And now, T-side, as they start to progress forward, these grenades might be good, but they're not quite finding the mark. Afro and Lambert both left with red HP, but it's enough to continue fighting out for a bit more, and the utility from the T-side is completely used up. CT's all rotating back over here as well. Broxy and Gravity both coming out with a kill apiece still, despite so much weakness on the CT side. There are absolutely no kills where it is the blue side that is falling. Aaron peeks forward, taps away, nothing found whatsoever, and again, man, they're just not dying.
Man. And the trades are immaculate. Gravity, healthy, 4 kills. And the problem is for DomiNation, they wait out so much of this util. By the time they attack ramp, by the time they start rounding that corner and actually getting enough ground on that A site, there's about 20 seconds left. And when they're dialing in those digits, that's when LDLC decide to stand their ground and start taking fights, and they just keep on collecting kill after kill. They were all trapped behind those smokes. There were no flanks. There was no secondary prong to the assault. They just pushed forward, and DomiNation cannot hold their ground. Maybe they engaged Buddha mode or something, but yeah, a lot of these guys were just on such low HP.
Freebie. Perhaps some more to come as Brooksy is setting up for another peek, but the problem is that he's not expecting Aaron to already have climbed upstairs and all the way through. Gravity forced off the angle courtesy of a flashbang, and Corneo right next to him is going to be meeting the sweet end of death. As the embrace will take him. Gravity wants to be delivering out a bit more as well. Lambert flank now activates, and 16 found. LDLC make it look easy. the only hiccup they had in that series.
Yeah, they looked poor on our first map, but then when it came to Nuke and Vertigo, I think it's fair to say part of this was just the Afro show. And sure, there were other players alongside him for the